Okay, I'm calling this the exam part 0. I'm hoping you can download this and print it. We're trying to get it uploaded to the site, but without access to the actual physical college building, it's proved difficult to do a lot of things. So what I'm going to do just in this video is read these questions kind of quickly, zip through them. You can pause and look at them and use that to work through this exam on your own, please. Okay, this is your big test here. And then the next 3 videos are me working through all these problems. So of course, do it yourself first and compare it to what I do, and hopefully you knock it out of the park. After suffering through all my other videos, hopefully you've mastered all these topics. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, this is what I call test number 3. There's 4 tests in that study guide, and the first one we did was test number 2, so here's test number 3. How many 2 1/4 fluid ounce bottles can be filled from a bottle that contains 9 fluid ounces? Of course, feel free to pause as long as you need on these. 1 and number 2. 1 3/4 plus 2 5/6. Number 3. 873.65 minus 24.344. Number 4. 50.29 divided by 0.47. Okay, number 5. 4/5 divided by 4. Okay, now you see choices A and B there. The other ones will be on the next page. So there's C and D. Okay. Number 6. A tablet contains 2.25 grams of aspirin. If a patient takes 2 tablets every 4 hours, how many grains of aspirin will be taken in 24 hours? I think that was supposed to say grams. Okay? So the answer is going to be in, or you know what, maybe I'm mispronouncing. Maybe GR stands for grains. I bet it does. Okay, so the units are the same. There's no unit trickery on this problem. Okay? Number 7. A dieter lost 2.4 pounds during the first week, 3.5 pounds during the second week, 2.9 pounds during the third, and 3.0 pounds during the fourth week. What was the dieter's average weekly weight loss? 8. 5/6 divided by 1/3. That's a division symbol there if you can't see it. 5/6 divided by 1/3. Number 9. What is the maximum number of 1.5-inch strips of tape that can be cut from a 480-inch roll of tape? Now, number 10. An income tax system requires that persons having a net income between $10,000 and $16,000 pay a tax of $800 plus 24% of that part of income in excess of $10,000. How much tax should be paid on an income of $12,500? You might have to read that one a few times. 11. Which of these decimals is approximately equal to 3/7? 12. What is the prime number that lies between 95 and 100? 13. A 3-ounce serving of corned beef hash supplies 155 calories. Approximately how many calories will be supplied in a 5-ounce serving? 14. A jogger travels X miles each morning. Which of these equations represents the number of days needed to jog 200 miles? 15. 176 minus negative 64. 16. 3y squared times 2y to the 4th. 17. Factor the following expression completely. 4a squared minus 49. 18. A man estimates that 1/5 of his salary is spent for taxes, 1/4 for rent, and 1/10 for insurance. What fraction of his salary is left for other expenses and savings? Okay, here's choices A and B. C and D on the next page. 19. If 2/3 of x equals 48, then 1/2 of x equals 20. Which of these values equals negative outside of a parentheses and then 2 to the 4th power inside the parentheses? 21. if 33% of x equals 99, comma, x equals 22, what percent of 200 is 250? 23. If x is an integer, then the solution set of that creature there, the way I would read that is always x's perspective. I would say x is greater than 6 and less than or equal to 7. Okay, what is the integer set explained there? Okay. 24. How many degrees are in each unmarked angle of the following parallelogram? 25. The square root of 45 equals, okay, looks like a simplification of radical problem. 26. Barry has 4 more cards than Ken. Together they have 44 cards. If x represents the number of cards Ken has, then which of these equations will represent the number of cards? 27. A patient is to receive 3 grams of a medication over 6 days. If he is to receive 2 equal doses of medication per day, how many milligrams will he receive with each dose? Now notice with that one we've got grams and milligrams kind of intermingled there. We got to watch out for that. 28. If 75 milliliters of solution contains 30 milliliters of a specific medication, how much of that medication will be needed to provide 120 milliliters of the same solution? 29. How many liters are equivalent to 300 milliliters? 30. 4 equal squares have been placed side by side to form the following rectangle. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 120 centimeters, what is the area of one square? Come on now. 31. Which of these numbers has the smallest value? 32. Of 60 patients treated with a certain medication, 24 showed no improvement. What percentage of the patients improved? 33. A temperature of negative 15 degrees Celsius is equal to how many degrees on the Fahrenheit scale? Okay, we give a little formula there as a hint. 34. A state sales tax is 7%. If a student paid a total of $37.45 for a uniform, what was the price of the uniform without the tax? 35. If 3/7 equals 5 divided by x, then x equals 36. What percentage of 80 is 50? 15. What percentage of 80 is 15? 37. If the monthly expenses for a family are represented by a circle graph, how many degrees of the circle will be needed to show that 20% of the expenses are used for clothes? 38. How many 8 by 8 inch tiles will be needed to cover a 12 by 12 foot floor? Okay, another unit mismatch problem we got to worry about. Which of these fractions is equal to 0.04%? And finally, the decimal that equals 1/8% is which one? Okay? All right, so this is, again, going to now be followed by 3 videos. I broke it up so it wasn't so long, of me working this entire exam. So please do it yourself first, and then hopefully you knock it out of the park, like I said, and you, of course, do well on the real exam.